temples are the natural spiritual refuge for people. Ladies normally feel hesitated to reveal their difficulties to the monks. In my opinion, if Bhikkhunis become widely recognizable, they will certainly support children and ladies who seek for spiritual refuge.
REC recording.
She became ordained at the age of, in 1945. She became a bhikshuni in 1957 and has been teaching since that time. She received a bachelor's degree from Dongguk University in Seoul in 1966. In 1974, she founded Hongmyongsa, which is one of the most prestigious bhikshuni training institutes in Korea. She is a renowned Vinaya master. In fact, she was the venerable who gave the teachings on bhikshuni Vinaya when I myself became a bhikshuni in Korea, so I'm very grateful to her. Please welcome Venerable Myeong-Olson.
이러한 소녀들의 역할을 중심으로 살펴보겠습니다. 2007년 3월 필자는 제1회 동방유관 중급생 중 한 비군이를 동방유관 유관장에 임명했는데 동 비군이는 2007년 4월에 비군이 이구성 부족계 단일 계단 수계의식에서 비군이 교수사를 역임했습니다. 한 달 후 5월에는 제1회 공강유관 졸업생인 두 비군이에게 전개하여 비군이
guidelines for establishing and maintaining a Vinaya Institute in the Jogye order. That not only bhiksu but also bhikshuni leaders
Heart, clear mind, working with anger, taming the mind, Buddhism for beginners, and so forth. These books have introduced many Western people, English speakers, to Buddhism. Most recently, she has founded Shavasti Abbey in Washington State, one of the first Western training monasteries where nuns are being trained, and some also men. So she's going to talk about this precedent for multi-lineal ordination that we've been referring to in Tibet. Please welcome Tujin Shiji.
I'd like to begin by paying homage to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and especially to all the lineages of bhikshus and bhikshunis of whatever Buddhist traditions who have held this precious monastic way of life by practicing it and passing it on to future generations. I'm very grateful to them. So my shortened version of the paper is actually too long. So I'm going to just touch on some important points on it and not read it. Those of you ordained in the Tibetan tradition know that on the corner of our dhokha we have this blue cord. So this blue cord represents the kindness of the Chinese bhikshus who joined together with 3 Tibetan bhikshus to give the ordination to Lachen Gompa Rapsal in the 9th or 10th century, it depends upon when you date them, which followed the persecution of Buddhism in Tibet. And so it's by Gompa Rapsal receiving this ordination and his disciples receiving it and then bringing it back to central Tibet that we now have one of the main ordination lineages of the Vilashavastabhata in Tibet. And this teaching is available in China for us. We can do it. So this statement indicates a couple of things. First, it shows that they were Chinese monks, and since all the Chinese monks were ordained in Dharmakutaka, they must have been ordained in Dharmakutaka Vinaya. It also indicates that they saw themselves as having a Vinaya lineage which had not faced the persecution of the Shavastabhata lineage because they are one nature. Okay, so that's one precedent that Gompa Rapsal's ordination gives to us. Another one is that when he was later on asked to be the preceptor of other monks.
And they're famous for their very careful observation of the precepts. Venerable Heng Shu, the bhikshu of the team, he has a doctorate. Well, he has a master's degree in Oriental languages from UC Berkeley and a doctorate from graduate.
Today's presentation about the Dharma Realm Buddhist Association's women's monastic organization is by nuns and about nuns. Indeed, it is a joint presentation with multiple authors. I get the light duty today. My job is simply to stand as a Mahayana
tradition will have the opportunity to realize their highest spiritual potential. In keeping with the theme of this conference, our presentation will attempt to describe one method established under the guidance of the late Venerable Master Hsuan Hua.
Was also the vice president of the Buddhist Sangha Council. The Buddhist Sangha Council of Southern California is one of the most successful ecumenical groups. It's been going for about 30 years. And also has been very active in the College of Buddhist Studies in Los Angeles. She was also the one who registered Sakyadhita as a nonprofit organization in 1988. She's been very active in interfaith dialogue and has also organized several bhikshu and bhikshuni ordinations in Los Angeles. Please welcome Venerable Karuna Dharma.
Bhikkhuni ordination for the past 12 years. As I look out in the audience, I see Theravadins, Mahayanas, and Tibetan practitioners whom I have ordained. I'm very happy that you're all here today. I was the second American woman to take full bhikkhuni vows in the United States. I checked with Venerable Heng Shu to be sure about this because the first one was a nun from his own temple who was ordained 4 years before I was. Understanding that their own teachers were still their masters and that they were to remain true to their own tradition. The women were so excited by the ordination that they've asked me to give another one 10 years from now so that they can participate as masters.
I am the first bhikkhuni in Sri Lanka after a lapse of nearly 1,000 years. Because it was not an enviable situation at all. 10 years ago, when the word bhikkhuni was taboo in Sri Lanka. Anyway, it was a major breakthrough. And today it gives me great satisfaction. And I must have done good karma to deserve.
As the South Asia Theravada Buddhist coordinator for Pho Kwang Shan Monastery in Kaohsiung. I've known her for many years. She attended the Sakyadhita conference in Cambodia, and especially during the ordination in Bodh Gaya. She coordinated this ordination. You can imagine what it was like to coordinate such an event in the village of Bodh Gaya. So she will be telling us more about that experience. This was also a real landmark in the Bhikshuni, the revival of the Bhikshuni Sangha, not only for the Theravada.
My complete paper, I'm sorry, the PowerPoint. My complete paper is about 47 pages. Don't worry, I will resist 15 minutes. I will just show you the law of negative karma and create positive actions.
And lived with his family to Nepal. He spent 12 years studying, undergoing monastic training in Nepal under Chuje Rinpoche, and spent 3.5 years in solitary retreat. For the last 22 years, he's been teaching in Australia and New Zealand, and there has ordained 20 Sangha members, Australian Sangha members, as Dane. He's the founder of the Sakya International Buddhist Academy and has 15 centers in Australia and New Zealand. Please welcome Ramachara Rinpoche.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Greetings in Tashi Lake to all 4 legs. Hope there's a top there that holds that the lake's existence has a purpose. As the last speaker of this very important convention that you have been able to come with great eagerness from your home places, from different parts of the world. I was told as many as 90 countries. It's very, very inspiring to see it reared in the Western continent due to great political changes in the roof of the world. I, being the last speaker, as well as being the Tibetan, it is probably very important for me to speak on behalf of all the Tibetans who wear in their daily prayers on their crown His Holiness the Dalai Lama and his great champion for work to promote peace and harmony in this world. Our world is more troubled than it can afford, without any bias, based on any reasons. We have heard last 2 days the text, the rituals, the history, the lineages. My experience of being a Tibetan who have taken some role in organizing an ordination ceremony that we have heard has happened quite a lot of times in this part of the world. So it's not unprecedented from that point of view. But nevertheless, a Tibetan person doing it, here Senior Vinyadhara, you could simply be a small atom in the big mandala. And I'm going to tell you the story how that mandala was created, important to recognize existing Bhikshuni ordination lineages, but also may have good reasons to give enough time before such a decision could be made. One could also argue the reason that it has delayed so long may have also to do with prejudicial views against other Vinaya traditions. As a result, it may have been out of the question to have the initiative to convene or sponsor an ordination ceremony by creating a council of Vinaya preceptors from other traditions. Thanks, however, and therefore built up to this state where we are today, and therefore the time that they have given surely is a precious one, for it takes long to realize what might be the necessary steps when you're entering into a fairly new area. Years have passed, and every meeting called by the department often attracts
Let's go on for further research. And then he has to say this. But you all should show your authority or your knowledge, having explored each and every stone, which is related to that, so that His Holiness gets the idea. Your statement, I will ask by seniority, first the monks, and then the nuns, and then His Holiness can come. 3 options.
Can I?
By the three options, you mean the two that were
There's two from the Tibetan.
Yeah.
from the Tibetan?
Could we just clarify that today? Okay. We also have now two options presented. These were presented as the two options discussed at the meeting last night. Nothing more than that. It's just the two options that happened to be discussed in that meeting. Okay. One problem is that the numbering is now different. This option 2 is what was previously presented as option 3. So that needs to be clarified.
Right.
The other thing is that I didn't understand at all what we were talking about when we discussed this. And so I'm not sure. My personal feeling is I think it would be better for those options to die a quiet death. And I
Sarvastivada monks and a dual ordination with Mula Sarvastivada monks and Brahmagupta Bhikkhunis is fine, but I think to get into on this panel, to get into the finer topics of which...
It was on a letter from Dharamsala.
Yes.
Well, but there are so many letters have come out.
But we'll see, we'll wait. We'll see how he, we'll have to listen, how he will explore or explain the Tibetan position.
I think I understand.
There is reason, and you can't just stop people to become monastic anyway. But for the betterment of the future of Tibetan in general, and other countries who are in the same situation, we really need to see dual ordination for the long run benefit, because this is the only high-level relation and mutual respect between two sangha. You know, if you go for single ordination as the only option, then you start to split two sangha completely. And then it has some dangerous and sentiment for the future. I mean, in Taiwan, I'm not sure what happened there, but in Vietnam, we still have a dual ordination for 2,000 years, and still going well. You know, keeping two sangha together, showing mutual respect. I'm in Korea the same maybe. I'm not sure whether they go for independent, totally or single ordination with the bride or not. But that is not what I read, not the wishes of the Buddha. Buddha like to see certain relation, certain mutual respect, mutual responsibility between two sangha. We need to respect that idea. But still, in some certain cases, he still allowed the monk ordained and nun. But that only just some exceptional special cases, not become popular or the norm. Now, in the next 5 years, if the leadership of the Tibetan lineages in press Dalai Lama not to go for example, I don't know for sure what the inside Tibetan leadership, but if they go for one single ordination, then they have to keep doing that for forever. I mean, there is no.
I think the association is very good, but that's we are worrying with. Also we have to worry. His Holiness Dalai Lama would live forever, and so I think, as you talk, this first option is I don't think it's good. So that by Tibetan tradition is kind of really different from us. Yeah. So we have to discuss about this, like if they do and then like Korean exactly have that kind of situation after our Vinaya Master Charles died, and the Korean Bhikshu Vinaya Master, they want to control Korean Bhikshuni Sangha, so they took the 3 of principal Vinaya Master, the one is instructors, most involved, because she lectured on the 848 rules, and they took away. If you remember correctly, my people, they did 1999 until 2005. And then we Korean nuns struggled. Do you think Korean nuns just after have revival dual ordination, we are living happily ever after? We are struggling so much and go on and like that. So that's why last night I went back in my room and I'm thinking the first option is, if they have a first option, we shouldn't be here. And then we have to, so that's very, like just we get through, that's in my paper, I want to hit the core issues, from my experience, please learn something.
And we also should never ask you.
So far, we have gone so far. I don't think none of us
And no one of us should say the first one is out, the second one is out. No, it's not for us to do that. Back home, which one to take. That's our job.
Yeah.
So don't argue again and again and again. Now, this one is not valid, that one is not valid. We have gone through that for the last 20 years.
But I think that's true, but I think we were also asked for our opinion, which is not to necessarily make a decision, but for each one of us to offer our opinion. So
we can say our opinion, but it's
Also-
not for our position to say this one is out or something
I'm
like
saying
that.
our
对
experience.
不起，我说。今天如果我们的所有的这些人来，我们不是在处理一个细节的做法，而是大原则的决定，让它先由比较你出现。
So today here we are here is not to discuss the details, but to let the general direction to come up. Let the ordination appear.
先有比丘尼出现，那至于说2步1步多少步，那是细节问题。以后他要怎么做，我们再来提供建议。现在不要谈这个，就把它分叉掉，不好。
So let the Bhikkhuni ordination appears. So whether it is done in a single ordination or dual ordination, that's the detail. And we can skip that part.
And discuss it.
And discuss that later.
But I think we should discuss some ideas between us right here and now, because if we present our reasons here and now, it could influence the others, and I think so we should try to come to some consensus.
Yes, consensus.
At the point, if there are bhikkhunis existing, the dual sangha ordination is obligatory. Now, the nuns of the Tibetan tradition, though they might have had Dharma-Guptaka ordination, but they are living with the Tibetan tradition, practicing in that tradition, wearing the robes of the Tibetan tradition. So they are really 98% Tibetan nuns, Mula in almost every respect, Mula Savastivada nuns. It's only that, as a matter of expediency, years ago they had to take the Dharma-Guptaka ordination, because at that time, Mula Savastivada ordination was not available to them. So I think it would just be the slight little act of courtesy on the part of Tibetan bhikkhus to accept them as Mula Savastivada bhikkhunis, and that would allow them to function as the bhikkhuni sangha at a dual sangha ordination.
This kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
So we like the signs that we think that they're both valid.
Yes.
Okay.
All are valid, and we supporting whatever they choose.
Yes, 很好。
Diplomatic. I mean, political.
所以决定怎么样给他们。
This reaffirmed my suggestion yesterday. Circumstances, we are creating the new order from the crash. We have to be flexible. I mean, His Holiness and leader of other Buddhist, Tibetan Buddhist group can utilize any already pre-approved by Buddha methods. I mean, 1 or 2 or 3. For their own situation, because it is hard that even Dalai Lama or us or any one of us to enforce one single solution, a single ordination way in situation. Remember, even in Vietnam, even we have a 10,000 bhikkhuni and 30,000 bhikkhu, but so in certain circumstances, certain ordination platform, just because of their own individual circumstances, they still have to use single ordination sometimes. It's not very popular, but still applicable. It's still approved by the community, because that come out from the text. Nobody can disapprove the single ordination just because all other ordination done by dual ordination. Then would mean His Holiness or future preceptor can apply any method, but in the long run, when there are sufficient number of senior bhikkhuni, then we have their voice anyway, slowly. gradually. But for now, my question to you is not political, but really this is just brotherhoods. How do you think Tibetan Buddhism has come out to Tibet in the last 30 or 40 years, has generated a lot of attraction, and now you have your sister wearing your robe, learning exactly what you learn and practice, because they were born in Germany or in America. Can you see them as your sister, your bhikkhuni in your order, or you explore them because of where they was born?
No.
If they are bhikkhuni, if the leader of the Tibetan Buddhism accept them as a bhikkhuni in Tibetan tradition, why exclude them out of the order anyway?
I don't think
It's not that they will sit as a preceptor and ordain Tibetan woman